I've purchased a game specifically for the new hardware called Montana Mic. So we're going to have a go at it, and I'll do a little bit of a review. Here we go. I purchased this as a digital copy. Now the first thing I'm noticing is that there's huge borders on the screen. That's fairly typical with the Spectrum, but I'm lucky enough on my TV that I have another option that allows me to zoom in. Here we go. So it maintains the correct 4:3 perspective, but it zooms me right into the picture, which is really nice. I'll also zoom in on the camera so you can see this a little better. There we go. That's pretty good, that'll do. So I purchased this as a digital copy. I know that it was released as a physical copy on SD card, but I personally don't think that's the way to go with software titles. If you just kind of think ahead to the fact that you're likely to own about 100 games in a while, do you really want to have 100 SD cards sitting on the shelf in boxes? I mean, this game I think only takes about 10 or 20 megabytes, and the typical SD card, at least the one that I'm using, is 4 gigabytes, and I just arbitrarily pulled it out of an old camera that I wasn't using. So the idea really is, moving forward, the idea is that you should have all your games on one SD card. That's the way I intend to proceed. So as far as I'm concerned, physical media is dead on this platform. But I know that's not going to change the minds of people who are just sentimentally attached to the idea of purchasing physical copies of things, just the way we did back in the day when we got our pocket money in the 1980s. And we went and we bought the latest Mastertronic or Firebird game in our local computer store. I understand this, the nostalgia for that, but do you really want to pay for 100 SD cards in a couple, by the time a couple of years goes around? I certainly don't. I would rather just buy digital, and the people who produce the software can simply deduct the price of the physical media and the postage, and they make the same amount of money, really. So that's the way I'll be moving forward with this. I won't be buying any physical titles. So the game begins. Mexico. Montana Mike is winging his way to the Aztec ruins in Mexico to locate and retrieve rare treasure. 5 mysterious blue crystal charmed eggs. Press fire to continue. Here we go. So it's fairly typical platform action. Quite a large jumping mechanic, but nothing wrong with that. Just took me a little while to get used to it when I was playing this yesterday for the first time. Okay, there's one of the traps falling from the ceiling. A little hard to see the ladders, but they are there. So there's the first switch, and I can collect bullets here, which allows me to shoot enemies. I'm not going to bother shooting him because I want to save my 6 bullets. So there's a ducking mechanic here as well. As you can see, that's going to be useful. So let's shoot these guys. You can hear the micro switches clicking away in the background. Sorry about that, but I want to use the best joystick that I have, which is the people love this one. It's the old Zip Stick that I had for the Commodore Amiga. And it really is a very old joystick. It's still performing really well. So let's see if I can get past this and duck. Now there's another thing about to fall from the ceiling, and it's very hard to miss it. So it pays to actually pay attention to the screen before you actually move around. So choice of going left or right. Let's go left. This is reminiscent of Pitfall. Also Jet Set Willy. Whoops, lost a life. So there's the first of the 5 objects that I have to collect on this level. Just got to avoid getting killed. There we go. Number 1 collected. Hopefully I'll complete this level. It's not guaranteed though, because the difficulty level is quite high. When I first played this the other day, I was getting killed all over the place. I was losing the entire game within just a couple of minutes. Whoa! Okay, I'll go to the right on this occasion, so it's all about the timings. So now that my bullets are extinguished, you can see I've got a whip here. You don't run out of whips, so that's good. I can always defeat the enemies, but it has a very particular mechanic in that you have to hit the enemy with the tip of the whip. If you hit it with any other part, you'll fail to strike the enemy, and he will. You can also see that they regenerate when you leave the room, and he'll obviously hit you instead. Okay, here we go. Duck. Some bullets to collect here. Good. So this game was designed by Adrian Cummings of Software Amusements. He brought about 4 or 5 titles out for the Spectrum Next. I think he's given up development for it. I'm not sure, but he's been very quiet of late. And this game is available at the moment for a very low price. It's offered, I'll put a link to where you can buy it. Digital copy is offered for something like $2.50. I can't remember the exact price, but it's not very expensive. There's another Extra Life. The idea is you can buy it, and you can also offer to pay additional money if you want to support the developer. So back in the day, I'm pretty sure a game of this caliber would have been very highly rated in magazines like Crash. Right, I've gone back to the place I was before, so time to move forward again and go a different way. So this is kind of a nice sort of there's a certain amount of exploration, but not to the extent where you're overwhelmed like you are in Jet Set Willy, for instance. But there are a couple of directions you can go when you play this, so it usually circles back around and you end up exploring everywhere. So I was here before and I went right, and now I'm going to go left. Just got to avoid this thing. Whoa! Close. Here we go. This surprised me when it happened. There we go. Whoa! Lost a life. 3 lives remaining. Gotta kill all these guys. So it's similar to the likes of Rick Dangerous. Again, that's a game I've seen, but I haven't really played. There's egg number 4. It also reminds me kind of Monty Mole, which I like. Here we go, back we go. One more to collect. With luck, I'll do it without getting killed here. Okay, this is going to be hard. Right. Unfortunately, I've got no bullets, so he's going to be very hard to kill. It's all going to be in the timings. And oh dear. It's really nice to see the Spectrum just with graphics like this. I know some people think it's just not authentic, but this is what the Spectrum would have been like if it had gone on to be a contemporary machine with the Amiga and the Atari ST. This is the sort of game you would have seen in the early days of the Commodore Amiga. And I'm gonna make it. Level 1 complete. Okay, let's see how far I can go. There is no save game option on this, but it does something that's quite useful. I'll explain that in a moment. Right. And you can see that my life counter has gone back up to 3, which is good. Whoa! Close. Don't want to fall in the water. I think it is important that the community, the retro community, such as the people surrounding the Spectrum Next, that they do, support developers by reviewing their games. Because we're not in an era anymore where there are magazines the way you would have gone down to your newsagent and picked up the latest Crash magazine, and you would have seen all the games that were available. Developers really do depend on reviews now from people who purchase the games. So I'm happy to give this one a recommendation. It's not breaking any new ground, but it's just a lot of fun. I love the difficulty curve on this. As I said at the beginning, I was getting killed all over the place, but it adheres to that time-honored strategy of easy to play, hard to master. So the more effort you put in at the game, the better you become at it. And that's how it should be. Right, I'm stuck. However, there's how we open the door. I don't know if you can hear the storm raging in the background there. It's not special effects on the game. It actually is really stormy weather outside. Okay, here we go. Shoot this guy. More bullets. Down we go. Just gotta time this right. Here we go. Level 2 complete. I'll just show you a little bit of level 3 then, which is London. So we're in the London Underground. Whoops! Here we go. Let's try going... Oh, didn't see that. Let's try going down first. Whoa, did not expect that. Let's go over here. It's a little confusing knowing what, these are not things that you can stand on, they're just part of the background, but they're very vibrantly coloured, which makes you think they're actually obstacles, but it's a minor criticism. Oops. That's it. Oh, not doing so well here. See, as you can see, there's quite a bit of exploration you can do in this level compared to the previous levels. Yeah, I was here before, I think. Gotta work my way back up. Okay, game over. So, although it's game over and there's no save option, when you start the game again, it does return you back to the level that you got to before. So here I am beginning at London. You can't save that progress after you turn the game off, but that's fine. It's a fairly short game overall, so I haven't completed it yet, so there's plenty more play left in this for me. So really enjoyable. Please support Software Amusements, Adrian Cummings, and purchase this title and have a look at the other titles that he's produced for the Spectrum Next.